Listen, man. They call me the problem, but you could call me the can man, because anybody can get it. Africans, Americans, Dominicans, Mexicans.
It's more like this. Don't always be a critic and be so negative. Let's be positive.
How happy are you with your performance tonight?
Anderson Silva, you absolutely suck. If you want to know what it feels like to get your ass kicked by a guy who weighs 40 pounds less than you, meet me in the octagon.
60-40, get your ass kicked. 60-40, I kick your ass.
60-40.
Why kick?
To fight, you gotta be prepared to lose your nuts.
What's good, man, and welcome to the latest edition of Two to the Body. I'm half of the host, One Way Renzo, always with none other than Money Mark, man. What's good with you, Money Mark?
Not much, man. Just over here chilling. Just out here, casting and potting and casting. You know how that goes.
Casting, potting, and casting. You chilling, man. You over there? You slumped over like Eddie Alvarez,
huh? No, I'm just chilling. I'm just relaxing.
Oh,
but I think that's unnecessary.
So you're not slumped over like Eddie Alvarez.
I think that's unnecessary. That man took a shot. You ain't took a shot. When's the last time you took a shot?
Well, I got a flu shot not too long ago.
Oh, okay. So you ain't never took a shot. Soft.
With a capital T at the end?
Maybe so.
You got a capital T?
Maybe a couple T's before that capital
softness?
T. Yeah, it's a couple T's.
You want a capital T, my softness? Well, for those of you that don't know by now, those of you that are just finding out, Eddie Alvarez, formerly of UFC fame, has decided to go to one championship. That's the isn't that a Japanese faction?
No, I think it's
it's Japanese. It's Japanese.
I don't think so.
It's Japanese. I'm quite certain because I saw a post with Demetrius Johnson landing or leaving for Japan a few days ago.
No, I think they were just fighting in Japan. They fight all over. Not necessarily in America. I think that just fight was in Japan. But I think they're from Singapore. I think those dudes are from Singapore.
Okay. Well, I'll stand corrected about the...
Yeah, Ryzen is the Japanese one because that's the old Pride. Ryzen was the old Pride.
Okay, got you. Well,
Ryzen!
Fight!
Okay.
Did we just turn... It sounds like we just turned fighting into an Iron Chef. Or maybe I just did that in my own head.
Yeah, I think you did, boss. But okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
man,
whatever you want to do. I mean, that's what
it is what it is. Well,
that's
no
what
matter
you want to give
what.
up to the fans. I mean, that's what you want to give the fans. That's cool.
Well, to keep with that theme, Eddie Alvarez did get served up and then chopped up at the same time.
By Nasty Yukin?
Yeah, Nasty Yukin, man. Nasty Yukin. You know what a Nasty Yukin is? A Nasty Yukin is that Yukin you didn't expect coming from the Street Fighter game or whatnot. That your homeboy was busting that ass, man. That's a Nasty Yukin right there. But actually, yeah, I've never seen that last name before in my life. Eddie Alvarez never did either. Probably why he thought he was going to go into that fight and win, but definitely.
No, he was doing well. He was doing good at first. I mean, he was doing good. He was pacing him. He was outstriking him. I think he just didn't understand. I just didn't think, and to his credit, I wouldn't have expected him to get knocked out by Nasty Yukin neither. But because Eddie Alvarez is actually a really good fighter until you met
sturdy.
That's true. Until you met Conor McGregor, and then Conor. I don't know what it is sometimes about these fighters that sometimes you catch that really bad L and it just kind of deters you. But before then, he was a really good fighter. But he got beat by. I think Nasty Yukin is. I think he's Russian. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. If he's not Russian,
he's not fully Russian. I don't know, but he's Russian.
He's from the Russia-ish area.
Yeah,
like the Kazakhstan, the Ukrainian area, all the stuff that
used to be owned by Russia.
Yeah,
all the used stuff to be owned by Russia.
Yeah, it was Russia during the Rocky era.
USSR. Oh no, it's USSR. USSR.
Yeah.
I remember
Soviet Union there.
That's funny. It's so interesting just playing Street Fighter and then you fly over to that big landmass. USSR. I was like, what the fuck is USSR? Because it's funny because like when Street Fighter was made, it was still USSR. But by the time I played Street Fighter in the arcade, it was definitely Russia. And I was like, okay, so why is that not Russia?
Oh man, did they just Mandela affect us with Russia?
Yeah, are they over here just creating countries and shit? What's going on?
Did they just Mandela? Oh, we know
What
they
kind
be
of
creating
how come how
countries.
come how come there are all these other how come there's all these other countries that are regular countries that
That are,
exist,
that are
but then
similar
all of a
to.
sudden there's this USSR.
Oh man, fight! That's all. Yeah, that's all you got to say next. Quit asking questions, just fight. But
Yeah.
Eddie Alvarez definitely went over to Japan. I don't blame him for doing it because I mean they threw the bag at him, and you know if you throw the bag at a UFC fighter, a mixed martial arts fighter, I should say, then go right ahead and get it, man, because their timeline is really finite, you know. And
Yeah, and then to be very honest with you, I think with the other players coming into and with one now having a very fighter friendly um, organization, it seems. I think now more than ever you're going to start seeing because the thing about Bellator is that Bellator basically mirrored their situation to UFC to the UFC. So I think that's one thing. Um, um, Ryzen. I think the thing about Ryzen is that Ryzen has all those shenanigans going on over there at Ryzen, like that the infamous Floyd Mayweather fight that happened on Ryzen. They Ryzen's the company that has that big gargantuan woman beating up old Japanese grandmas, beating the shit out of old Japanese grandmas, and it's funny that Brazilian chick can barely speak English for real. And these Japanese cats, you can tell they be talking all types of shit. They be walking in with like wrestling gear on and some shit like that,
yes,
and
yes,
then be
yes.
getting duked up by rudimental striking and rudimental, rudimental um,
Some
ground pound.
barbarian.
Yeah, basically, it's just the fun thing about Shorty is that she is a little bit bigger, and I think I think what the thought process is that it would be hard for her to try to make weight at in the UFC, but nonetheless, like at least form a super heavyweight category. Super heavyweight categories. I don't know why in MMA super heavyweight categories are so like not a consideration. Like you
I
have
don't
a
know.
chick, or a
Well,
dude, a super heavyweight.
I
Super heavyweight.
mean,
Like I can understand that UFC not doing it because it's hard to see super heavyweights that are athletic, that are not taking the
there we go.
roids.
There
They're
we go.
not taking the roids. But Bellator can do it. Bellator can definitely do it. Ryzen can do it. Like formulate an actual division and have that big. I forgot what's her name before I just call it the big joint.
China.
Mm, I don't think that's what her name is. Okay, well we'll just
uh,
continue to move on.
I don't think that's what her name is either. But
Yeah, we'll
you
just
know,
move
I
on. We'll
don't
just move
respect
on.
it enough. Don't respect it enough to look it
I
up.
heard she's actually pretty good at jujitsu, but we don't really see too much of it. Maybe she's over there just working on her striking, and
Could be just waiting on her moment.
yeah, probably working on her striking because I mean, it's very rudimental. Like you might not be able to beat her. You may
Could
not
be.
be able to beat her. But anyways, let's move on to people that we know the names are, so our fans can follow along. So, Eddie Alvarez, he took a shot. I don't think it was bad, and I think I applaud ONE FC for actually giving him a viable challenge. I think that ONE FC is really trying to compete. They're really trying to compete. I think they have a deal with TNT. They got a deal with somebody else.
Okay. Well, you know what? I will say this. I watch it on TNT. I watch anything on TNT because TNT is a channel that's tried to give me all kind of sports that I didn't want before, and you know what I'm saying. I'm an acceptor of that.
You think Charles and Kenny gonna do the commentary?
I mean, I don't think Charles and Kenny will do the commentary, but I think Charles and Kenny will show up, much like
Charles, Kenny, and
they're
Shaq.
having these. Yeah, much like they're having these boxers and other ESPN personalities come out for the UFC stuff. Like I think it's gonna be like that. Just like like Stephen A. Smith coming out for a Terrence Crawford fight and just
Mm-hmm.
lending him the microphone, not so he can commentate, but just to say, I'm Stephen A. Smith, I'm an ESPN, I'm a big dog. You know, I mess with what they got going on over here. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I see them working in that capacity. But, you know, I ain't gonna act like TNT didn't put Slam Ball on TV and change my life. So
Slam Ball.
so
Coach,
yeah.
I think the best team on Slam Ball was coached by the guy from Coach Carter.
Yes.
Actual Carter. Coach Carter.
Yeah, because he was out here actually putting plays in, man. He running sets in Slam Ball.
Slam Ball. I remember there was one team that actually was someone decent. They actually had a dude who could actually handle the ball.
Yeah.
Which made it very unfair for everybody else because he would just cross people up and then just shoot regular jump shots.
Regular jump shots. When we ain't trying to see no jump shots, we trying to see if that dude can withstand this check block coming through the air as he jumps on this trampoline.
I mean, they tried with Slam Ball, man. They actually tried.
I enjoyed it. Bro, I enjoyed it. Slam Ball, every minute of it. So, you know, I just referenced it. Just so. You know
Slam Ball. Anyway, so, yeah, I mean, we,
put on TNT, I'll watch it, basically. Put on
that's
TNT.
the moral story.
Yeah, a lot of guys from the South, you know what I'm saying, that grew up watching the Braves play on TBS and all that good stuff. We'll watch things that you put on USA and TNT. I'll say TNT again because, you know, the USA TNT Wars, WCW came on TNT.
No, it came on TNN.
TNN?
Yeah,
Okay.
which turned to Spike.
Okay.
Turner Classic, Turner Network, and something. Turner and something network. It was TNN.
Okay. For people that lived in the lived above the Mason-Dixon line like Mark, it came on TNN. But for those of us that live down here in the South, we definitely turned to TNT to watch WCW Nitro.
TNT?
And,
are you sure it was on TNT? Are you sure it wasn't on TNN? Are you 100% sure?
Look, man, we didn't have TNN, so I know it wasn't on TNN.
I just, for some reason, I just don't, because it's on the cable network, so that's gonna be. I mean, that's if you have the channel, you have the channel, so it wouldn't be on a different channel.
It's in TNT, man.
It's not like local television. Like, you know, when you get to like the local television, it's like 1 to 30 or 50 or whatever. Those are your local channels, and that can differentiate based upon where you're at. But typically speaking, all the cable channels usually have similar programming. I thought, right? Unless you go out the country, right?
Well, I'm not certain as to your effect, but even Wikipedia says WCW Monday Nitro is a professional wrestling television program that was produced by World Championship Wrestling and broadcast weekly every Monday night on TNT.
Maybe it was on TNT and I just forgot.
Yeah. But all that said, if we put sports on TNT,
no. You know, I think it was. What was Raw originally on?
Raw was on USA. Raw was the one that flipped around because, you know,
but
Raw,
USA, but USA wasn't always USA, right? Was it something different at one point in time?
It probably would have been something different because Vince McMahon is the one that was more likely to move from channel to channel because WCW was owned by the person that owned the channel.
Oh. Man, we got to the bottom of that. See, okay, well that's cool.
Yeah, man. But yeah, we're gonna watch it. With that, ONE FC, to continue to hammer the point home, Demetrius Johnson, one of the greatest fighters of all time, pound for pound, the best fighter in UFC history, arguably. He also made his debut overseas as well, man.
And didn't lose. He didn't lose.
He did not lose. As a matter of fact, a slippery guy tried to get out of that guillotine, and he was like, no, you will get choked out.
I honestly think that Ben Askren has proven that those guys over there can wrestle. And I think Demetrius Johnson is a pretty good wrestler. I think, and a good striker. He's a good, like, this is the crazy thing about Demetrius is that what we will miss from Demetrius that I think we never expected. And the problem with it is because I think Henry Cejudo was the first name that Demetrius actually fought against. Like Gilbert Melendez, or not Gilbert Melendez, I forgot the dude's name. But the other guys, we didn't really care who those guys were. We knew who DJ was, and we knew DJ was beating them. And then Henry Cejudo was the first name that we were able to be like, okay, cool, Henry Cejudo. And honestly, one of the reasons why we know who Henry Cejudo is because he lost to Demetrius the first time, and he was a gold medalist in wrestling. So, I mean, with that being said, watching the fight, I think sometimes UFC really took for granted how good Demetrius was. You know, I think really the push should have been to have Demetrius move up, even if he lost. and keep him and pay him whatever he needed to be kept and promote